Hello, you guys. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. It's really nice to have you here. It's a Wednesday, the first day of summer, longest day of the year here in Montana, in Townsend, and I'm sure it was the same in Helena. I I woke up at like 5 because the sun, it's really light here. I mean, really light. And then last night when we went to bed, the sun was just going over the mountains at about 10 o'clock. So I feel like I'm almost living in Alaska right now because when I went to Anchorage, it stayed sunny until like 11:30 at night sometimes. So we have a fun topic tonight. We've got Tim and May. The doctors are in Vegas, and we're going to find out what they're doing. They have a new show called Doc Tales and Cocktails that airs right after our show on Spotify, Facebook, and all the regulars. So they're going to be here to tell us a little bit about what they're doing in Vegas. They do a show called BS Free MD, BS like bullshit free MD. So they talk about, they had Peter Malone, a very controversial doctor, talking last week. They're not afraid to cut those edges. Other sponsors, let me find my page here because where is that? Oh, come on here. I got Greg Hinkle. He's one of our sponsors from Fairway Independent Mortgage Company. He's a mortgage loan officer. And I have somewhere in here, there's a little graphic. But you know what? I have so much video actually loaded into my show tonight because our topic tonight is dog training. We have a company, a young woman who trains dogs here in Montana. How I found out about this is it's a long story. But anyway, her mom says to me, yeah, my daughter trains dogs to collect the bats at a baseball games. And I was like, what? That sounds like a story to me. And so she's going to join us in just a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about dog questions about raising dogs, about training dogs. This young lady is an expert at it, but we also have some really fun video of the dogs themselves. Greg will forgive me. I cannot get this to pull up here. Wait, yes, I can. I know what to do. Here we go. You ready? Boom. That's the little one, but look at this. I can do the whole thing. Fairway Independent Mortgage Company, the Hinkle Lending Team. Greg is a friend of mine. He's a sponsor. He's out of Montana. He also is from Oregon and Washington. So he can do mortgage lending information for you from all 3 states. Just had a guy asking today about a mortgage broker. He's in Oregon, or a mortgage loan officer. He's in Oregon. So I hooked him up with Greg. Greg's number is 406-439-5626. That's 406-439-5626. Greg Hinkle. Also, Chris Dental Family Dentistry, where everyone is welcome. They're also a denture center. And they're in Oregon. For those of you who are in Oregon, if you're looking for a dentist who cares about your freedom, cares about your right to speak, he is your man. But it's like we just deal with all kinds of dental issues because our other sponsor is Montana Oral Surgeons and Implant Center right in Helena. The doctors there, there's a connection between Maddie and that organization, but trust me, it's good. But what I like about them is I know you're not out looking for an oral surgeon until you need one, right? But these people are kind. They take care of you. They're experts. They know what they're doing. My favorite part, they'll put you out. If I'm going to have somebody in there doing implants or any kind of oral surgery, I want to be put out by a professional. I don't want to remember anything. So those are our 3 sponsors for the show tonight. Let's bring Maddie on. Hey, Maddie, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I am so good. I'm excited to have this on because we do sometimes some controversial stuff and sometimes this, but it's really fun to have just topics like, especially when I saw that you're a professional. So it's what's the name of your business again?
Bark for Joy Dog Training.
Bark for Joy Dog Training. So I like, you're 25 years old.
Yeah.
You go to Carroll College, or you went to Carroll College
Correct.
in Helena, Montana. And if you guys are not from Montana or you've never been to Carroll, I know so many people from Oregon that have come to Carroll College.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a beautiful facility.
Absolutely. I love it. And I taught this past spring, and I'm going to be a visiting professor of anthrozoology this coming year as well.
So, wow. So do I need to be calling you professor?
I like it. It's great. Not required.
Okay. So you come to school, to Carroll, to take zoology because you have this dream of being a veterinarian.
Yes. Yep. I've dreamed about being a veterinarian since I was 10 years old. I'd go out into the backyard and do a bunch of fun agility things with my dog, prepping myself to go to vet school. Went and shadowed and interned with vets. And yeah, it was my dream.
So you got the degree and everything, but what turned you off?
Yeah, so I worked with a veterinarian here in Helena. They were incredible. I really enjoyed my job, and I ended up having to watch a euthanasia one time, and it made me change my decision. It was just something that I wasn't going to be able to continue forward with.
You know what the thing that I mean, because I had a mom that was like the greatest animal lover, and I am a huge animal guy. And she'd let me have anything I wanted as long as I took care of it. So one time I had 50 rabbits, I had guinea pigs, I had mice, I had
Oh
rats,
my
I had
gosh.
hamsters, gerbils, goats, you name, and one summer they all started, the rabbits got this disease and started dying.
Oh,
And it was from lettuce, too much, and they were getting diarrhea and just dying and stuff.
oh,
And
interesting.
so I'm 10 and I'm burying animals. And my mom was just like, she'd stand on the deck. It's kind of sad. She'd stand on the deck and I'd be down there just crying. And she said, honey, you have to bury him. I'm not going
Oh,
to do it for you because you
yeah.
need to learn that this is what happens. And
Yeah.
by the time I buried like 20 rabbits, my mom would sit there and she just had tears running down her face. I think it was harder for her to watch me do it
Yeah.
than to actually just take over and do it herself.
Yep.
But when we took our dogs, and we had several dogs for a long, many, many years, and we had them put down.
Yeah.
And one of my vets said to me when we were there with Henrietta, and he said, Rick, the thing you have to remember is this dog is 14. And if it had lived in the wild, it would have lasted maybe 2 years. So you gave this dog 14 years of life that at 12 years that it probably wouldn't have had. And when you took on that responsibility, you took on the responsibility of deciding when it died. And
Yeah.
I felt so much better because I thought, yeah, we gave this dog a good life.
Right.
But through that, you kind of found, because you went, okay, this is not for me, you found your thing.
I did. Yeah. I mean, I never regret any moment that I spent in the vet, feeling my face just flush as I'm watching the surgery, trying to make it through to the end. Like, I don't regret any of those moments. And I gained a lot of information and knowledge that I now have as a trainer that some people might not have. So if I have a client whose dog is presenting with an illness or an issue, I kind of have some background to say, I feel like this might be occurring. You need to take your dog to the vet. So kind of gives me a little bit of an edge now.
Well, now let me show people what you do. Okay, let me show
Yeah.
some video. It'll run right here, and you and I will be kind of on the side of it, I think. Okay, so tell people about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I think that was actually our very, very first run during a game. A lot of the fans actually had no idea this was happening. And so all of a sudden, they're watching a baseball game, and this dog runs out onto the field to get the bat. So it's very, very exciting. The dog's sole job is to wait until the batter has hit and drops the bat. Once the play is over, the dog is sent out to grab the bat and return back to the handler.
So how did you think? I mean, what a great idea.
Yeah, like I said, there are a few others of these dogs in the country. And by few, I mean very few. Before these three, there are less than 10. So we, with all the idea, decided that we wanted to kind of go for it and try it ourselves. So there were no bat dogs in this region of the United States. And I was like, why not? I could be the first one to train some. So proposed the idea to the Great Falls Voyagers, and they were super ecstatic about it. They were like, yes, let's do this. Let's figure out the best way. It evolved a little bit from what we initially thought, but we actually held open tryouts for the community. So the 3 dogs that we have are actually community members' personal dogs.
No, seriously?
Yep. So it's not like they were bred and raised and trained. The owners came and did 10 sessions with me, and we worked through teaching the dogs how to do all of the things, prepping them for the game. And so it was a great show to be able to tell and show people, like, you don't have to have this magnificent bred dog. You can have a dog from a shelter, and we trained it to do something incredible.
So how will this be the whole season then for the team? They'll be doing this for
Yep.
the team.
Yes.
That is such a great idea.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
So what is the thing that people make the biggest mistake when they're like when they get a dog and in terms of training, it's probably not training.
Right? The opposite of it, missing it. Yeah. So if you're starting out with a brand new puppy, one of the biggest things people neglect to remember is when that puppy comes home, they're hitting a critical socialization window. And um, depending on the source you're looking at, I mean, the critical window is anywhere between, 4 weeks old and 16 weeks old. So basically, during this time, the puppy needs to be exposed to every texture, sound, person, animal, environment, anything that they might experience in their lifetime. And if we miss that window, we end up creating this dog who is terrified of fireworks, that you have to go and medicate them. They can't be around men because they never had that experience. They freak out at every dog they see. So when you're starting off with a puppy, that's the biggest mistake I see people make.
So how long is that puppy stage? You know how with kids they say if you don't learn this by 2 years old,
Right.
what's the puppies? Is there a stage there that we know?
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, 16 weeks is like the very, very latest that critical socialization window ends. Now, if you don't socialize your puppy in that time, it's not completely hopeless. Like, we recommend as trainers that your puppy gets exposure the whole first year of their life. They should continue to have those new experiences, but that critical window is about 4 to 16 weeks of age.
Wow. And I mean, I have a neighbor, super nice guy, but he doesn't take the dog on a walk. And it's like, this dog's like just penned up and really wants. So I said, I'll take him on a walk or a run or
Mm.
something, just to get him out of the house.
Right.
What are some simple things people can do at home to, like for barking?
Yeah. So one of the things that I really, really like to teach is a place command. There are a lot of trainers who use this command. It kind of ends up being a solve all problem. So some people call it place, mat, bed. Basically, the solution is that you teach your dog to go to whatever it is, a bed, mat, towel. They stay on there until they're told to be released. And this is a huge game changer for dogs who bark at a lot of things, dogs who rush people at the door, dogs who like to bolt out of the door. So it gives the dog a job. So instead of, oh my goodness, there's the UPS person coming up, I need a bark. Instead, when they hear the truck, they run to the bed, and now it's given them a
Oh,
purpose. So it takes away the need for some of those difficult behaviors. So that's kind of the trained behavior we like to incorporate.
what do you find with mutts and dogs from the pound,
Yeah.
dogs that are purebreds? I always end up thinking kind of the mutts are the ones that are the smartest. You know what I mean? I mean, or
Yeah,
just rigorous. You know what I mean? Or just
absolutely.
hardy.
Yeah, they're
What?
hardy, they're sturdy, and that's what a lot of people find. I have a lot of clients who self-report the same thing, and I think they're kind of street smart. Like, a lot of them go through the shelter. They might have to live on the street for a little bit. I think they gain those street skills that puppies coming home, they ended up, especially nowadays, they end up being coddled like babies. So we kind of lose that hardiness with the puppies of like, oh my goodness, this puppy from the breeder can't ever touch the ground or go do this because something could happen. And dogs from the shelter were like, they're eating bones out on the street. Like, they'll survive anything.
Do you think that people have we done? And here's kind of a heady question. Um, in culture, it seems like we've spoiled our children a lot. Do we have we done the same thing where we have these obnoxious dogs that get away with murder, and as it and really the more kind thing to do is to give that dog some structure like a child. Is that true?
It's 100% true. I think a lot of people, like you said, they want to coddle and spoil these dogs. And so we end up losing okay, yes, I understand your dog's your baby, but we have to make sure that they are doing the things that we ask them to do, because otherwise I end up with the clients whose dogs run their entire life, which it shouldn't be that way. People say the same thing about children. You shouldn't have children and figure out how your life wraps around them. The child should be joining your life. And I think our generation's gone towards the same thing with dogs of, oh, well, my life revolves around my dog. How do I need to, structure my lifestyle now?
So I like that, how you're saying that. So it's really, my wife and I had to, I mean, your life changes when you have children anyway, but it was always like, you know what, we eat, my wife and I eat dinner together. This is our thing. So we'd eat dinner earlier with our boys, put
Mhm.
them down, and they always went down at the same time. And then we
Yeah.
had dinner later. And it
Yeah.
was like, people would go, well, that's weird. Okay, no, this is what keeps us together. But
Yeah.
this is our life. And they're coming into that because
Yep.
guess what happens? Then when they turn 30 or 28 or 25, they leave anyway and they don't call all the time. So they have
Right.
their own life anyway. So it's like, if I don't spend my life with my wife, I'm like, I would have got robbed of all those years of my wife, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's something to be said for like, incorporating your dogs and the things you do. We take them camping and fishing and hiking, but at the same time, like we can incorporate them into our lives that way while also keeping the important structure and routine that the dogs need so they aren't running amok and driving us crazy.
So Shauna asks on here, I have a Great Dane Husky. It's scared of everything, has always been since we picked him up at 3 months old. Will CBD help him or what would?
Yeah, there's still a lot of research being done on CBD for dogs. I personally use it for my anxiety and I love it. So we're still learning more about how it affects dogs. Depending, it's just like humans, you can buy different grades of it. So some is going to kind of be crappy, some is really high quality. So CBD definitely can help. I never recommend it in place of a stronger tranquilizer given by your veterinarian, especially for fireworks and things. So management wise, CBD might be a good option. Alternatively, I like to do both management and training. So finding a really good trainer to kind of help you work through some of those issues and teaching you how to socialize your dog will help also work through the issues. So you don't always have to rely on the CBD.
So how important is it? We're getting so many questions. This is
I
kind of
love
fun. We should have a new show, Dr. Maddie and Rick,
it.
we do
Yeah.
our little, but because people love their animals. And I think we make a lot of mistakes just like we do with our kids. But
Yep.
so how important is it before you go to the pound or the puppy place, wherever you're going, to know what kind of dog you want rather than going, oh, look at Sparky. He's a cute little dachshund and I want to go running with it. Well, he's got a back that's going to fall out. You know what I mean? And knowing what are your needs and what are you looking for?
Absolutely. I see this day in and day out as a trainer. And, I'll get the 80-year-old woman who just got a German Shepherd puppy and different things like that that are really hard. And I actually have a program that's called Breed Match Program. And so I work with families, couples, individuals who are interested in bringing a dog into their life. So I get to know them, kind of figure out what their lifestyle is, and then based on that, actually match them with the breed I think would best fit their lifestyle,
That's
because
awesome.
we end up creating more dogs in the shelter because so many people are like, well, I want this dog because they look cute. And you try to ask them, like, well, do you realize they need grooming? And they're like, whoa, what? And it's like, yeah, you're going to spend, a few $1,000s in grooming a year. And so people are not doing that research and it's creating more problems.
Yeah, because I mean, I went to my vet and I said, when my boys were little, I said, what kind of dog? And he says, well, I would love for you to get a Cocker Spaniel. And I said, why? He says, because they are the dog I see the most at the vet. They have more medical issues than any other dog. They have skin issues. They're awful. And he says, but if you get a Cocker Spaniel, I can go home and tell my wife that we can build that new deck.
I love that.
and I know I laughed so hard, but he said, what do you want? And I said, you kids. So he had us get a Lab Australian Shepherd mix because the Lab is lovable, but not the smartest dog all the time.
Right.
And the Australian Shepherd's really smart. And Sam was a great dog. But I had a friend and he got a Great Dane and he lived in a 1,500 square foot house. And then he got another one.
Oh, goodness.
It's like, so do you have a truck to drive them anywhere? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's super important because I think we go for cute or like a bulldog. People think bulldogs are cute. Well, look on the intelligence level. Last on the list.
Yep.
This
It's
is
so
the
true.
dumbest dog on the planet. And if you have one, anyone's watching, I'm sorry. I'm not, don't mean to insult your dog, but they're stupid.
Oh my
What
gosh.
are some of like for the qualities you look for in like if you're going, okay, so I know I want this kind of dog.
Yeah.
What do you look for at that point?
Yeah, if I know that I have a client who has specific needs, so if I'm looking for, a quiet, kind of docile dog, there, like you said, there's a kind of a lot of markers that we can look for. So in a shelter setting, it's very, very difficult because the dog has uh, so many high levels of cortisol. They shut down. They don't really show their true personality. So we try our best with temperament tests. And there are a lot of standardized temperament tests that have been put out there by different professionals. And they walk you through a variety of different tests. And it might be like holding the puppy on their back. Do they freak out and squirm, or are they calm and like relaxed? How do they do with other dogs around? How is their reaction to a big sound? And so these types of temperament tests can kind of give us a little bit of a key window into what their temperament may be later on. And these tests, temperament tests, we always also can do those with puppies too. And puppies are a little easier. They're growing into their personality, but anybody who's picked out a puppy, when you go and see them that there's the one off chasing the butterfly and then there's the one sitting at your feet. It's kind of easy to figure out, okay, one chasing the butterfly is independent, one here at my feet is a needy Velcro dog.
So last thing I'll ask you. Oh, first, Bark for Joy. What's your website? Bark for Joy.
Yeah, it's just barkforjoydogtraining.com.
Oh, somebody who is trying to. Yeah, that's a fakie. So it's just Bark for Joy.
Bark for Joy Dog Training.
Bark for.
And it's the number 4.
Joy Dog Training. And how do people get a hold of you if they just want to ask some questions and stuff?
Yes. So, a lot of people, we set up what are called discovery calls to kind of chat a little bit more and kind of figure out what they need. So if anybody's interested in learning a little bit more, maybe having some consultation over the phone, you can set up a discovery call and just put on there that your reference was this show, and we can dive in and kind of chat about stuff a little bit more.
Okay, so you're a zoologist, a professor, and a dog trainer.
Yep.
So what is it about human beings and dogs? What is that thing?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of theories behind it. There's a big term called neoteny, and it basically is a human's draw towards an animal or a being that has baby-like features. So everybody sees a baby, and even if you don't like kids, you see a little baby and you're just drawn to it. Their smiles, the little giggles that they have. And so it's a very instinctual draw that you have towards them. And for dogs, I think no matter where you are across the board, it's an animal that's going to love you and always want to be around you without any expectation of anything back to them. I mean,
Right.
You have people who never exercise their dogs, and that dog still loves them just as much as the person who takes their dog out on a hike 12 miles every day. So there's something to be said for having a dog at home that you can talk to, love on, play with, and just having somebody there to always count on who will be there wagging their tail when you get home.
Maybe God made them to show unconditional love.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with that. And I like my dog Trish, who I got from Carroll College. She is what I call my heart dog. That's what people refer to that first dog that you get. You'll never have another dog with that bond. And I mean, she's my best friend. I talk to her. I play volleyball with her. I teach her how to do crazy things. And I never will have a dog like her again, but she's literally my best friend.
Well, Maddie, thank you so much for coming on. Bark
Absolutely.
for Joy Dog Training. And you guys in Great Falls, be sure and look for the dogs
Yes.
and those bat dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of Catwoman. We have bat dog now. And,
Exactly.
and again, if you guys have a question for Maddie or you have some ideas, go look on the website, Bark for Joy Dog Training. And I'm going to guess that's .com.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And now there's a whole bunch of questions. You can go back in there and answer them too for you.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank
All
you
right.
so much for having me.
All right, Maddie. Thank you. See you later. That was awesome. I mean, I can remember every dog I've ever had and how much they were a part of my life. And yeah, when they were gone, it really, I had a friend and they just wrote me the other day and said my dog passed. And it kind of, for me, it's like a human. I mean, it was like, I said, God, I remember that feeling. And you come home and it's quiet and there's nothing there to welcome you and stuff. And maybe that is why God made him. You know, he's probably with Adam going, oh, that one, we're going to call that dog. Oh, wait, because that's God backwards. Okay, wait a minute here. I think I just figured out one of the mysteries of the world. Maybe God named dogs a dog because it's backwards, and that's how he shows us unconditional love that God shows for us. I don't know. If any of you use that, you got to attribute that to me. Now, I'm going to air a couple of commercials, and then Dr. Tim and May are in Vegas. What the hell are they doing in Vegas? So here's some of our sponsors, and then we'll pull them up.
Well, I'm Jason Fleshman. I am one of the co-owners of Montana Oral Surgery. I'm an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, and I've been practicing for almost 25 years. I mean, this is a big country. And then the people who are here wouldn't want to be anywhere else, you know? They'll die for their state. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want to live in a state where people are that passionate about where they live? I replaced teeth with dental implants. I removed cysts and tumors from patients' faces and jaws. I perform oral and maxillofacial trauma surgery, fixing people's broken jaws, cheekbones, eye sockets. Perform office-based oral surgery and anesthesia. I remove teeth. I replace teeth with dental implants. It's no joke. Yeah, you don't mess around. You don't put up with this harsh environment. This is like the last great place, personally. And you know, if you're not from Montana, you probably don't understand. But if you're here, you know.
This guy's really good. Shannon is the best denturist I've ever seen. He was coming in on Fridays, and now he's coming on Fridays and Monday. But everybody that leaves with him, he always has me come. He goes, "Come here," because I'll come in on Fridays. He's like, and they look absolutely beautiful. The patients, there's hardly any redos. Like I wish, and I probably will advertise a lot just to get him some momentum. But he is so good. He's the best denturist I've ever met. Yeah, his outcomes, because you make denture and they don't fit very well, they don't look very good. He's awesome. Not only does he take the impressions, there's a lot of art to taking impressions, but he also makes the dentures. He's fantastic. I love having him. He's made my life a lot easier because I don't have to worry about dentures anymore.
All right, Dr. Bratlin. And as long as we're with this whole show has been about doctors. Have you noticed that?
Hello.
Is Tim fully clothed?
He's fully clothed.
Well, from the waist up, it is Vegas.
That's what I thought. You hear so many negative things about Vegas, and Kathy, I've never been there. Except for recently, I know, isn't that weird? But on a trip to Arizona, when Kathy and I went to Arizona, we came back and we went through it. It is beautiful. I thought it was beautiful.
Oh, no, it's great.
And interesting. And, we're driving. I mean, we just went through, but it was like, I want to go. We both looked at each other and said, I want to go back. That was really cool. So what the hell are you doing in Vegas? Do you guys, I know you sold your house and stuff, but do you ever stick around anywhere?
No, absolutely not.
Well, at least you're together. I'm glad. I was starting to worry. I was getting emails like they go on separate.
Yeah, we're taking a joint vacation. No, Tim, we always call Vegas the adult Disney World, because it's kind of adults Disney World here. There's something for everybody, whether it's, the crazy nightlife, which we're way too old for, right?
Yeah, well, mostly. Some of us are too old.
We're not into gambling, but there's so many cool shows from like, man, I can't even think of words today.
Well, like all the Cirque du Soleils and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you could
Oh,
do
yeah.
America's Got Talent, Cirque du Soleil, the classic shows. Any musical artists are always coming through. There's displays, and every casino's got things to see. There's museums, just walking up and down, people watching.
No,
We
the
love it.
people watching is absolutely
That's the best
spectacular.
part.
Oh, you know,
Sit on the
because-
strip, you get a beverage of whatever you want.
And if you
just
really want a good time, go for a run at between 7:30 and 8:30 in the morning. And what you'll see is what I call the walk of shame. So there's all these young women that have to carry their spiked shoes because they're way too drunk at 7 in the morning to walk home.
Wait,
And-
why is it the women?
Well, because I don't have to carry my shoes. I can walk drunk in my regular shoes I wore the night before.
Like, no shoes.
So they're carrying their shoes with their super short dress. That's the only, it's like there's this Vegas part of these people's closet, and it's like the slut section,
Oh,
right?
stop
That
it.
only comes out when they go to Vegas. And it's hilarious because that's not, that they're literally working as the receptionist at the orthodontist office until they go to Vegas. And then
so
it's complete costume time.
So May, now I want you to hear this. So when you're still sleeping in bed, Tim's getting up and he's running to look for these slutty women walking around holding their heels. The only story I have like that is in Boston when Kathy and I were there and we had no coffee. And so I got up like 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm wandering around and I'm just trying to find a place to get coffee. And this guy comes up and he looks around like this and he goes, "You gay?" And I went, "No." He goes, "Oh, because, if you want anything." And I went, "Oh, I want coffee. Can you point me to a coffee place?" And I was like going 6 in the morning and the males are out already looking for love. I was like, I'm just looking for coffee. I'm not looking for anything else. So that's the only experience.
Oh my
It's the only experience I ever had.
Well,
So-
the early bird gets the worm.
So what are you guys doing tonight on Doc Tales with Cocktails?
Oh, wait, I have to answer your question first.
Why
You
are we
asked,
here?
why are we here in Vegas? Which
Well, I don't expect answers from either one of you because we kind of go on these little road tangents, the three of us.
Eric Jackson. We're going to a car auction.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What do you have a car that you want that you're looking at?
No, I just go look at cars and then I just go buy them somewhere else.
And I go to make sure he doesn't buy them.
Yes.
Oh, you're the security.
I'm the gas, and
So do you have like a little police uniform you wear?
Yeah. That's in the yes.
No,
this-
I mean when you look for the cars.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes, I'm going to get frisked later, and handcuffs may be involved. I don't know
Oh, you guys are sick.
So what's your show going to be about?
tonight. It's going to be about a couple things. We're going to talk a little bit about Vegas and how crazy it is, and it really is a silly place. And then in that theme, we're going to bring in the medical theme of why alcohol is good for you.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of news updates, and because it is Vegas, what's the evidence out in the news now that shows that it is maybe a good thing?
So I have a question for you medically, and I'm not going to cough. So I was listening, some guy online, like I trust people online, but he was talking, it just caught my eye. He said, so when you drink alcohol, your liver goes to work on that alcohol instantly. So anything you eat at that point is going to turn into fat.
Yes,
Kind of. Mostly.
yes.
That's a simplistic thing, but mostly true.
And I wouldn't say
Not
at that
fat,
time
but-
necessarily, but it's so busy churning up the alcohol that into alcohol dehydrogenase. You're right, that other food wants to get stored as fat first, but it's not sort of that cut and dried.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be 300 pounds.
Well, he's kind of scared me. I was going, and he says, and don't snack when you're drinking. It's like, what? What?
Yeah. No.
I
Exactly.
mean,
No.
why did God make pretzels if he didn't want you to eat and have a pretzel, drinking a beer and a pretzel? I thought this guy, and so I was going to write him off, but then I said, I have some doctor friends I can pose
Yes.
this question to. you know.
It's not, yeah, it's not that simple. I mean, I've read so many books by different physiologists and guys from like Mercola, Peter Attia, the gurus on diet and the conversion, and it's not that simple. If it was, we'd all have the magic answer, right? And
Right.
we'd figure out exactly when to time it and which diet works for when. But
I've been using creatine and I really like it.
yes,
I'm getting beefier, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I look and I go, dang.
like my favorite guy that I mention all the time, Dr. James DeNicola Antonio, who we follow on Instagram. He's a big proponent and fan of creatine, and that it's one of the safest supplements for men and women. Probably more women should use it, actually, for building muscle mass, especially as you get older and it's harder to build and maintain. But are you getting puffy on the creatine? Because it does help.
Yeah, I did get, I mean, I think I've gained some water weight, like maybe 5 pounds, but it's not like my clothes don't fit or anything like that. So it's not, but I really like, and I feel like I have a little more mental clarity too. I mean, which, you know, it wouldn't take much in my head, but it's like, it does, you know, you go into lift weights, and I'm not telling anybody you should go on creatine. I'm not, because I don't want you to pull the pipey cycle on it. But I feel like if I'm doing 5 reps of something heavy, I'll do 6 or 7, you know, I can do more than that, you know, and it kind of gets me like that. But yeah, I just noticed that I mean, even my wife said, wow.
Is she using it? That's
no, because she's kind of afraid, because she's pretty buff, and she's afraid that she's going to look like a, you know, dude. And I don't really.
No, not a chance.
For women, the book that I really like, and the exercise physiologist that's huge in the women's sports, and she's trained Olympic athletes, high-end triathletes, is Dr. Stacy Sims. That's 2 M's. She's got 2 books that are amazing.
There's no M in Stacy.
There is in Tim.
And her books are Next Level and Roar. Next Level's for perimenopause and menopausal women, but she's also really big on using creatine for not just high-end athletic women, but women who should be lifting some weights, building muscle, that it is good. So I haven't used it myself, because I just freak out about the thought of gaining 5 pounds of fluid weight, because being puffy is no fun anyway.
Is that water weight, or are you just glad to see?
Yeah. But so yeah, it's supposed to be actually a really good thing, not just our protein powder.
See, not only are you 2 entertaining, but you have some slight value in my book.
Yes. slight value.
Well, I don't want to, you know. Oh, Tim, just so you know too, I know you're a doctor and everything, but May also has an M in it too.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. I know. See that mental clarity right there.
Mental
just
clarity,
like a sharp,
razor sharp
knife.
Yep.
And then Facebook, he told people to put a knife in their head. God.
No, that is just it's a clown world. But yeah, no, it's
I must say, we were talking about Vegas. It's super hot here right now. It's like 90 to 95 degrees. But man, what is it about? Like, these places have to have it 65 degrees in the buildings inside, and I'm like freezing. I haven't brought enough warm clothes for this dump because it's so cold in here with the air conditioning going. I'm literally frozen the whole time.
Yeah, I have to put Band-Aids on my nipples when I walk into the building.
Well, you won't have to do that tonight, because you're going to wear your tassels.
Exactly. I hate the chafing.
But that cools down a room.
That's our retirement job. Is we're both going to dress up and pose on the street with people, and you know, he can wear the pasties.
See, that's the new thing, right? So these people just dress up like you know, like a Chippendales dancer, or the
cabaret girl.
Yeah, you know, the burlesque, you know, and then you know you get a picture taken with them, and
so that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, I hope the kids aren't depending on your retirement for anything.
Well, we were gonna do like Sonny and Cher or something like that.
I got you, babe.
Yeah, except I'm a way better skier.
Maybe my tassels won't pay the rent, but look at all the money we just spent.
Exactly.
May, I got you, babe. May. I got you.
Judging by some of the people that are doing the showgirl thing, I think we could probably
You could probably pull it. No, judging by some of the people you've seen, Tim could probably pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, you and Kathy would be bazillionaires. I mean,
Well, in the gay community.
oh,
I do a mean Britney Spears.
That's right.
Baby, 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 baby.
That's right.
you could
I
dress
did that
like,
at a.
you
I
could dress
did that.
like Thor and pose outside the Caesar Coliseum forum shops. There you go.
I'll be the new superhero, creatine.
That's exactly right. No,
I got to be a little younger, creatine, and then I'll turn into a young man. That's what my superpower is. I turn into a buff
Yes,
young
exactly.
dude,
yeah,
and
that's right.
I go in and I fight for.
And then you're
So you ride on the wave of your hair.
right, and yes,
Silver wave.
Yes.
the Silver Surfer, the new version.
So what I do is I just mix up my creatine.
Yeah. So it's no. This is
flow.
This is perfect. Creatine, TEEN. That's the main guy, and the
Yeah.
sidekick is TRT.
That's you, tiny.
Oh yeah, and
No,
then
testosterone replacement therapy.
Oh,
so
jeez.
hold on,
Come on, TRT.
because then I can grow my hair longer, and it flips and.
Yeah.
That's my superpower. Like it goes out and it takes people, throws things really far.
Yes, you
or
can-
buildings. My hair can knock down the Empire State Building.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you.
I don't have to worry about retirement. I'm Silver Wave. You guys, most of the time I'm really normal, and then I bring you on, and look what happens.
I know. Yeah,
I don't worry.
I think you two should just jointly do a show together.
no, I think we should do a show on mushrooms.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think we should do a show on ED.
Yeah.
I think it would be hilarious. Just because I think there's information out there that people would be interested in, but I'm sure we get pulled. But I'd love to do.
Well, isn't that the
more
goal?
help.
Well,
But we could do it on your show.
Yeah, you do it on our show.
Okay, you guys have fun in Vegas. Tell them what time the show starts and where they find it. Well, it
6
starts
o'clock.
really soon, actually.
6:00 Pacific time. It is on YouTube and Facebook, live streaming. And if they miss it, they can listen to the replay on Mondays on the podcast networks.
Okay. All right, you guys have fun. I'm going to throw that video out I like the little short one too. It's fun. I'll put that out tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Good to
See
see
you guys
you.
later. Have fun. Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No, what happens in Vegas makes it hurt when you pee.
May, unfortunately for you, you can't do this, but watch what I can do. Just like that. Okay. Well, for those of you who didn't expect that, I didn't either. And if anyone is offended, I am so sorry, but please get over it. Or I do have 2 doctors you can call and they can help you through that. But that was fun. If you are looking for dog training, get a hold of Maddie, find out more about it. I love seeing young people like that, living their life smiling. And she's such a nice woman. And I love seeing that in people. Tomorrow night, I think, remember Kim Stark, who used to be on the show with us? Her son just got a part doing voiceover. Kim does some voiceover work, and he just got a part doing voiceover for something. And I'm hoping that they'll come on the show. So we'll find out tomorrow. But share this on your page because Facebook still likes to throttle it, and just do your thing. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day. And Tim and May, have fun tonight. Oh yeah. So tune in right after this at 7:00 in Montana time, 6:00 Oregon time. And you get more of that. And I understand just from what I've heard in rumor that Tim is going to do his tassel dance tonight. So that's something. I mean, they are no nipple and dime outfit. I'm telling you, not those two. No, they are keep you abreast of everything